Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be doing not really a tutorial, but I'm going to be doing my makeup while I have a conversation with you guys. Today's topic is going to be more so about mental health, therapy, things like that. So if you enjoy these type of videos, please let me know. I'm also going to be sipping some juice. About creating a segment called Sip and Slay, where I do my makeup. You guys kind of watch me do my makeup while I sip something. Could be alcoholic, could be non-alcoholic for the children. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that down below. Like I said, this is not going to be a tutorial, more so just me doing my makeup. I already did my eyebrows. I put some foundation on my lids. Also, recommend me some eyeshadow primers. I'm trying to get more how would I say it, more conscious about what I put on my face as far as makeup application is concerned. So I know eyeshadow primer would be, you know, perfect for me to really get the eyeshadow to stick to my lids. So let me know what some of your favorite eyeshadow primers. Let's get started. I'm thinking about doing more of like earthy tones today, kind of like fall inspired, because I'm really over the summer. I'm not a summer person at all. I am an Aquarius. I was born in February 1st to be exact. So I like more winter, fall. I hate summer and spring. They're just not for me. So I'm gonna stick with that vibe and do more earthy tones. And you know, we're just gonna chat and talk, and we're gonna figure out life, all right? So the palette I'm going to be using today is the Morphe James Charles palette. Like I said, this is kind of me winging it. I really don't know how this is going to turn out. If it turns out good, you'll know. If it doesn't turn out great, you still would know. So I was actually watching another fellow YouTuber on here. Her name is Ari Jane Parker, I believe. And she was talking about in one of her videos about a month ago. I will link her page down below if I do remember in my description. But she was having a conversation a month ago about just mental health and mental wealth, and just far as like her getting her mind, her mental together for her kids and also for herself with everything that she's gone through in her life. So I think this is where the inspiration for this video actually came to be for me, because I was like, girl, I can relate to a lot of what you're saying. Like, me and you have similar stories, maybe not, you know, exactly the same, but very, very similar. So I was like, let me do a video kind of like piggybacking off of what she was saying, but adding my own twist to it, my own experiences, my own life story into it. So what a lot of you don't know, I don't think I ever talked about it on my YouTube, but if I did, I don't ever think I got into like, I don't think I ever went in depth of my life and my story and my journey. But my mom was on drugs for a pretty much all my life, to be honest with you, from the moment I was born up until maybe a year or two ago, and I'm 25 right now. So a really, 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 really long time of her being on drugs. And for the most part, I didn't really speak to anybody about that. Like, I kind of just, especially as a kid growing up, like, I didn't really know how to tell my friends, like, oh, like, I live with my aunt, I don't live with my mom. So people would be like, oh, like, you know, just asking questions on my mom, and I would be just like, I would be answering the questions, but speaking about my aunt, because she pretty much raised me when I was like 4 or 5 years old. She took me and she adopted me legally. And she's pretty much been my mom my entire life. So I didn't really grow up with my biological mother raising me. However, she was in my life because she was at my grandmother's house, and I would always see her, you know, when I went to my grandmother's house. So she wasn't somebody that I didn't know. It wasn't like I didn't know that she was my mom. I knew she was my mom. I knew she was on drugs. Like, it was pretty self-explanatory. But like I said, I think growing up with kids, especially kids, like growing up, it was a little bit harder because you see your friends with their parents, and it's like, okay, but where's mine? You know what I mean? Like, where's my mom? And then my dad is Casper the Ghost. I know exactly who the man is. Like, I pass him in the street, but we don't have a bond. Like, you wasn't there for me from the moment I was born, so I really don't want nothing to do with you. Same thing with that side of the family as well. Yeah, so I kind of grew up like a little bit embarrassed of the situation, and I I was an emotional kid, but I didn't know how to tap into those emotions. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to speak about it. I didn't want to, you know what I mean? I almost felt like no one understood me. But at the same time, I have other siblings. Like, I have 2 older siblings before me, and then I have a whole bunch of other younger siblings, like three other younger siblings. But I grew up with my aunt, and then, you know, she had her own son here. So I always felt like I don't really fit in with them, like, because it's not your family. You know what I mean? Like, it's not your family, so you don't have that bond, kind of. So yeah, so I grew up very emotional. Again, I didn't really know how to speak about how I was feeling. You know what it is? I think in black, well, from what I can speak on, from what I've seen and what I have observed, in the black community, you are raised to be seen and not heard. Like, you growing up, you're not supposed to have a voice. You know what I mean? Like, if you have grown up in a black household, then and I'm not saying every black household is like this, no, but majority of black households, then you will understand exactly what I mean. Like, you are raised to be seen and not heard. You cannot have a voice. Like, you shouldn't be giving your opinion unless someone is asking you about this. So I always felt very uncomfortable expressing how I felt, because I felt like, you know, am I allowed to feel this way? Like, and then even if I do tell you, you're not gonna really understand, because you don't, you know what I mean? Like, if you get it, you get it. So I think that's where I didn't know how to communicate, and those feelings kind of followed me throughout my life. So I was a very, how can I explain this? I was a very rebellious child. I was very, 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 very rebellious. Like, I would not listen to nothing. Like, you would tell me one thing and I would just veer off and do the complete opposite of what you just said, just because, like, and I never really understood why I was like that, but it was just, I had a problem with authority. Like, don't tell me what to do. Like, do not tell me what to do. I could not stand that. Like, and that was from, like, my aunt, from teachers, from, like, just anybody. Like, don't tell me what to do. And I think that's why my mom, I mean, see, I'm so used to saying my mom when I'm talking about my aunt, because it just makes more sense for people to know that my aunt is my mom, instead of having to explain a whole, you know what I mean, a whole situation that, you know, is really kind of not your business anyways. But yeah, so, but I was very rebellious growing up. I got into a lot of trouble. I always thought I was being slick, but I always got caught, which was real crazy. I always got caught. And I'm not saying that, like, my aunt wasn't, me and my aunt, we never really clicked from the time that I was young. Like, we just didn't really, I don't know, like, it's just, we're very off. And to be honest, I think it's only because, and I would never say this to her face because she ain't gonna hold this over me, but I think it's because me and her are so similar. Like, our personalities are very similar. Crazy thing is, I'm an Aquarius and she's an Aquarius. She's more of like a Capricorn and Aquarius, because she was born literally on the first day of Aquarius or the end of Capricorn. Her birthday is January 20th, so she can be either one. But our personalities are very, very, very similar. So we butt heads a lot, especially with me growing up. Like, I didn't want to listen. I didn't want to. And it wasn't, like I said, she wasn't a bad parent. She just, it was like that you're not my mom type of thing, like, because you're not. So I think I acted out a lot growing up to get the attention of my mom. But, you know, she was running the street doing drugs, so she wasn't really worried about me. But yeah, as a kid, these are the things that kind of go through your mind. Like, well, if I act out enough, you'll kick me out and then I could go back with my mom. You know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of how I was. But I did notice that because I didn't feel comfortable speaking out on what I was feeling, I was just like, I'm just not gonna listen. I'm not gonna, you know, I think that made me feel very angry inside. I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't know how to talk to anybody about it. I didn't know. I just wasn't comfortable. Like, I really wasn't comfortable with any of it. So I rebelled. Like, what other way is there to react when you don't know how to be open and honest? Not even with other people, but with yourself as well. So I rebelled, kind of like any normal kid would at that moment. However, now that I'm older, I definitely see how that anger has still followed me throughout my life. You know what I mean? Like, hold on one second. Like, it's like, no matter I don't know, I'm not really like I guess you could say a friendly person. Like, it takes me a while to open up to people. It takes me a really, really, really long time to open up to people. If I don't click with you right out the gate, I feel like I feel like I have the gift of discernment. So when I meet somebody, if your energy is off, I know I'm not gonna like you. And some people are like, oh, what's energy? Like, that's not real. It is very, very true. Like, you can feel someone's energy when you meet them, and you just know straight, like, they don't even have to say anything. You just know right off the bat whether you're gonna click with them or you're not. And I have that. I know I have that. Because anybody that have ever met and I'm like, I don't like you, and I try to give you a chance anyways, it always comes back to, nope, you do something to me, and I'm just like, no, I wasn't wrong. Like, it was a reason why I didn't like you. But definitely, as I got older, I definitely noticed, like, this is not okay. Like, I can't make meaningful relationships with people because I don't trust anybody. I don't give anybody a chance. I don't, I'm just like, nope, nope. And again, that comes with my mom. Like, I don't trust. I also have a fear of losing people, I guess you could say, because I lost my grandmother. I lost my grandmother in 2012. I lost my grandmother. And then I also lost my aunt, who was like my favorite aunt, or at least that's what everybody tells me, that I was like really, really attached to her growing up. She died in 2000 or 2001. So I was like 5, maybe 6 when she passed away. And it's so crazy because, not to be off topic, but it's so crazy because I honestly believe that me and her were very bonded because her birthday is February 2nd. My birthday is February 1st. I was born at 10 o'clock p.m., 10 something p.m., February 1st, which is crazy because if my mom would have held on longer, I would have been born on her exact birthday. Like, and she was, according to everybody else, I was too young to remember. I don't really remember her at all. But according to everyone else, me and her were like bonded. I was attached to her. I was attached at her hip nonstop. So, which I don't really understand how me and my aunt aren't close because, I mean, you're an Aquarius too. But then again, she does have Capricorn tendencies, so that could be why. But, hold on, let me blend this green out. So yeah, I'm very guarded. I don't like losing people. I don't like making friendships and then you just leaving. Every friendship that I think I've made, they all kind of left. Not like in a bad way. Like, a lot of them went to college. I stayed home. I didn't go to college. They went away to college. A lot of them just moved away. So it's not in a bad way that I've lost friendships. But, you just kind of grow apart. And yeah, so I stayed to myself a lot. Aside from my boyfriend. I have him, but I don't like to really like smother him, I guess you could say. I don't like to smother him because it's like, you have your own life, you have your own friends, like, don't worry about me because I'm just lonely. Like, so yeah, and I still have my best friend. My best friend moved upstate. We still speak, but it's not the same. Like, when you have someone that you can speak to 24/7, because before she moved away, like, I would go over to her house all the time. She was like my best friend, ride or die. I would go to her house. I would wake up in the morning, take a shower, do my daily hygiene, get dressed, go around the corner to her house to get right in her bed and go back to sleep. Like, it was so weird, but she was literally like, she still is, but she's my best friend. So when she moved away, it was like, damn, what now? But yeah, even like friends in high school, like, you just kind of grow apart. It's nothing bad with that. Like, but like I said, everybody went off to college, and like I said, I didn't really decide to go to college. I was just like, school ain't for me, so I'm not doing it. So yeah, I have a fear of losing people. It's just something that I've noticed over the years that I have with everything that I've kind of experienced in life. I have a fear of trusting people. I don't trust because the minute you trust somebody is the minute that they do you dirty. And I know that's messed up to say, and you shouldn't feel that way because you shouldn't judge people like that, but it is what it is. So I also come off very rude to people, and I think that's just because I have a very strong personality. I like to joke in certain ways. It's not to offend anyone. It's not to, you know what I mean? A lot of it also had to do with growing up with my cousin, my aunt's son. He is older than me. it was really only us two in the house. He had his own friends, and like I said, I was kind of just to myself. So growing up, like, he would kind of not pick on me, but I guess you could say pick on me, like, you know how brothers are with sisters, like, because that's kind of what our relationship was, like, brother and sister relationship. So yeah, he would joke on me a lot, and you know, you have to be quick when you have a brother. Like, it's either you clap back or you sit in a corner and cry. And I wasn't gonna sit in a corner and cry all the time. No, like, I'm gonna come for you like you come for me. So that's definitely how I am, and it is sort of like a defense mechanism for me. Like, if you do something to me, or if you say something that I don't like, or not even that I don't like, but I'm gonna come back at you. And people think that I come off very rude when they meet me, and it's not that I'm rude, I'm just very guarded. I'm not gonna open up to you right away, especially if I don't know you. Like, that's not me. I'm also somebody that's not gonna start a conversation with you if you don't start one with me. Like, we could be in a room together and I won't say nothing to you unless you say something to me first. And that is a horrible trait to have, and I am trying to grow out of that. I do see, like, now as years go by, how I am a little bit more friendly sometimes and open up to talk to people, but that's not all the time. I still struggle with that. But yeah, some people just find me rude, like, when they meet me, and I have to apologize for that later on, because it's like, I'm really not like that. Like, once you get to know me and you open up, the people who are in my life, which are not a lot, because like I said, I don't trust anybody, but the people that are in my life and who have gotten to experience that side of me know, like, I'm fun, like, which is crazy, because I'm anti, what is it? I'm socially antisocial or something like that. Yeah. So I have, like, so sometimes I feel like, okay, I want to go out, I want to have fun, I want to get drinks, I want to do this. But then majority of the time, I'm also like, no, I just want to stay in my room by myself. Like, not really sad, but like, I just don't feel like dealing with people, so I'm going to stay home and just be to myself. But my friends understand that. Like, my real friends understand me. They just be like, all right, like, go ahead, girl, you clearly in one of your moods, so we just gonna let you have your moment. You want to be by yourself. But I'm also very weird, because even though I want to have my me time, I still want you to invite me out to places. Like, my best friend, he's a guy. My other best friend, he is a guy. He understands that. Like, he'll text me and invite me out, knowing that I'm gonna say no, but he also knows that I just want to feel involved and invited. Because if I feel like you are leaving me out of things, then this friendship ain't gonna last, because I don't like feeling left out. That's just not. Is that considered a fear of missing out? Is that FOMO? Let me know down below if that's FOMO, because I'm not too sure. But yeah, so I'm all over the place. I know that I need to speak to someone about it, and I don't mean like a friend or nothing. I mean like a professional. I know that I should speak to someone about it. And my aunt suggested that growing up, that I should have spoken to somebody about it, because I do have a lot of feelings. And I mean, even still, I still have a lot of feelings towards my mom. Nothing bad. Like, my mom is no longer on drugs. She got married. She has like a house now. Like, she's doing really, really well for herself, and I'm very happy for her. We've never had a conversation of like, what you put me through, what I had to experience, none of that. We never had that conversation. But I love my mom. I love my mom to death. I call her all the time. Like, we have a really good relationship. I never had a moment of me hating my mother. Like, that was never a case. I could never sit here and say that I hated my mother. No. I just know that I need to speak to a professional about how I feel and why I am the way that I am. Even though I know why I am the way that I am, it just, speaking to someone, a professional who can help you out with these things and give you certain exercises to do to help you move past what's going on, can help. I never felt comfortable going to a therapist or anything like that. I always wanted to, but one, I never really spoke up about it. And two, my aunt had actually suggested that I speak to somebody. But like I said, me and her don't have the best relationship. So when she suggested that I speak to a therapist, it almost felt like she was attacking me, like, and saying that something was wrong with me. Again, I was young, so that's how I felt. Me and her, it was, and it still is a very we still have a messed up relationship. We're not close at all. I live here. I still live with her. I'm 25. I live with my aunt. Yes, I do. I live in New York City, so it's very hard to just move out, to just pick up and move out whenever you want. It's very expensive, and it's a long process sometimes to moving out. But yes, so when she came and suggested that I see a therapist and I speak to somebody, it was in the midst of like one of her rants, and like I said, it just felt like she was attacking me, like, and she was trying to say something's wrong with you and you need help. And I was just like, no, like, now I'm not going to see a therapist. No. Again, that is my I don't like being told what to do personality. It's terrible, and I'm still like that, and I'm working on, like I said, getting out of that mindset, because not everybody I meet is here to attack me or put me down, or you know what I mean. But I'm just so guarded. It's like I'm a dog that's trapped in a corner, and even if you're trying to help me, like, I feel like you're attacking me, so I'm going to like snap back at you, like. But like I said, now that I'm older, I definitely could see why she told me that, because I do have a lot of feelings in me that I don't express. I don't express really anything to anybody, and that's literally just how I am. However, over the past few years, no, maybe like over the past year or so, I have been wanting to go to someone and speak to them about how I feel and what I go through, like at home and just in my life. Why I can't build meaningful relationships with people, because, you know, I don't trust anybody, or I'm scared to lose people, so I just choose not to engage at all. So I do want to speak to a professional about that, because, you know, I'm 25. I know I'm going to be starting my own family soon, and I just don't want my kids to, like, I don't want my kids to grow up the way that I grew up, kind of like angry at the world. Even now at 25 years old, I see myself, I have no patience. I have no tolerance. I lose my temper very, very fast, and that scares me a little bit, because it's almost like, well, what could happen once I lose my temper? It's a very scary feeling. Like, it takes nothing for me to get mad and like quick. Like, it takes me nothing to get upset very, very, very fast. The littlest things, like, let me give you an example. And it's literally the littlest things, and I'll get frustrated and I'll get angry quickly. So I don't like repeating myself is one. I don't like repeating myself. If I'm on the phone with somebody and we're having a conversation, but you're doing something else and I'm talking to you and you keep asking, huh, what? Literally the second time you say what, I'm getting mad. Like, I'm getting mad, and I'm gonna be like, I don't talk no more. Like, and I'm probably gonna hang up, or I'm just not going to speak at all on the phone. Like, I'm just not. So yeah, that's one thing that I definitely recognize about me. And like I said, it's not something that I like about myself. It's not something that I think is okay. It's none of that. I also kind of go back into my shell a lot. So July was definitely a difficult month for me, this past July. Not only because of the pandemic and everything that's going on, like, that definitely added to it, but just overall, like, mentally, I had a lot going on mentally. So it caused me to kind of go back into my shell. So I would go over to people's houses and not speak. And it's not because I was angry at anybody. It's not because, you know what I mean, I felt some type of way towards you. It was just like I had a lot on my mind. July is always a hard month for me. That is the month that my grandmother passed away, and me and her were super, super close. Like, she was my best friend. She was my rock. She was literally my parent. She was my mom. So I had that going on. Then it was, you know, more death around me. Then I just had a lot going on. So July kind of also made me sit down towards the end of July into August. It definitely kind of made me sit down and focus on the fact that I need to help myself. I need to get my mental together. You know what I mean? I definitely burned a lot of bridges with people. Not intentionally. Like I said again, it's just, I'm very, I don't know. I can't even explain me. Like, if you know me, then you get it. If you don't, then you don't. Even people who know me, honestly, don't get it. I lost a lot of meaningful relationships just being the way that I am, and that's not okay. And I don't want to continue to be like that. I want to be a more happy, positive person. I definitely feel like I'm very negative sometimes. And that's not okay. Like, I don't always want to be a negative person. I don't always want to bring down the mood. I don't always, like, that's just, and it's very draining. It drains the energy out of you to always be negative and to always just wish bad. And like, so a lot of the steps that I've taken, I went to church. I haven't been to church. I was going to church on and off for the past few years, but I wasn't really ever like dedicated to it. But I started going to church. If you don't believe in church and God and all that, that's fine. Keep it to yourself. Don't come for me, because like I said earlier, the Lord is still working on me. I will come back at you if I need to. I'm still a work in progress. But I joined a church. I've been looking for counseling. So my job offers ESP, employment. What is it? Employee something assistance. ESP, whatever, you know what I mean. If your job has it, then yeah. So my job has that, and they offer you free counseling sessions if you feel like you need it. And it's just to make sure that, you know, you're okay mentally, that you're okay. And I've been wanting to do that. I just haven't found somebody in my area who is available. I just haven't found somebody in my area that's available to take me. Everyone is kind of booked up. But I am looking forward to joining therapy. I know that I need to speak to somebody. I know that I'm not okay. And I walk around as if I'm okay, but I'm not. And then those random moments of when I'm not okay show. And when it does come out, it's not in a healthy way. Like, it's not. And yeah, it definitely, like I said, it scares me for my future as far as having children. I want to be, you know, a good mother, whether or not I had a good example of that. I want to be a good mother for my own children. So yeah, mental health is serious. It is a very serious thing. I wouldn't go as far as saying that I am bipolar, but I definitely struggle from depression. I could say that I'm depressed a lot, which I think is why I kind of just stay to myself also, like, because, you know, I'm depressed. I don't want to be around anybody. I just want to be to myself. I can't say that I remember a time when I wasn't depressed. I personally feel like I was depressed my whole life. I just can't remember a time where I didn't feel like the walls were closing in on me, sort of. I've only had one panic attack in my life that I can remember. So I don't think that that's an issue. I do suffer from anxiety. I know that for sure, but I don't tell my doctor about that, because one, you're not going to put me on antidepressants or anything like that. They're always quick to refer you to a drug, and no, I'm not taking that. So please don't feel like mental health is something that you should be ashamed of. It's something that don't feel like it's something that you should hide. Don't feel like, you know, the people out there that don't understand you, because no, there's so many people out here that go through the same thing that you're going through, but just don't say anything. Along with that, you also have people who, you know, cut themselves or have drinking problems or do drugs to help cope with their feelings, and you should not do that either. That's not a healthy way to cope with what you're going through at all. Luckily for me, I don't do drugs. And that comes along with my mom. Like, I never wanted to do drugs because I didn't want to end up like her, seeing what that does to a family. So I really was never into doing drugs. I've gotten high before, as you can see from my video, but from my previous videos, but it's not something that works well for me. I like to be in control of my body, and drugs is not it. That's not the way to go. Liquor, I'm not really into liquor either. Like, I'm more of a social drinker. I can drink when I'm out at a bar or like a lounge or something, but I don't ever really say that I'm at home like, oh, let me pop a bottle. Like, no, that's not me. I don't drink unless there's an occasion to drink. And even then, liquor is nasty as hell to me. So I will water my liquor down with juice. And yeah, unless it's Patron. Now, Patron understands my life. Tequila in general just gets me. Tequila touches my innermost thoughts. And yeah, but don't think that, like I said, mental health is very serious. Mental health is something that you shouldn't play around with. Mental health is something that you should be more open to speaking on. And I don't like the fact that people make it seem like you're sick or like something's wrong with you. Drink break. We all go through things in life, and a lot of us don't know how to express ourselves. A lot of us feel like we can't express ourselves, or nobody understands, or nobody is gonna, relate to what I'm going through. But there's always somebody out there who is gonna relate to what you're going through, or wants to hear what you have to say, because I know sometimes you can also feel like nobody wants to hear what I say, or what I say doesn't matter, or I don't matter. But you do. You definitely matter. You are important to this world, whether you know it or not. I know growing up, I did have suicidal thoughts. I never told anybody about it. I never expressed myself. I never went through with it, because I feel like in order for you to go through with killing yourself, you are a truly strong person. Like, to cause physical harm to yourself, and not just suicide. I also mean, like, cutting yourself, or like, abusing yourself. You are a really strong person, because I just can't do that. And I've had suicidal thoughts. Not a lot, maybe like a couple times. Nothing crazy. But let me not say nothing crazy, because you're not crazy, but you know what I mean. Nothing like that. And that's because I sit back and I think about the people that do care about me. They will not want me to, to go through with that. And also, like, you only have one life. So you have to live that one life how you choose to live that one life. I'm not going to end my life to make other people happy, or end my life and then people end up forgetting about me years down the line. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie and sit and act like I never had those thoughts, or felt like, I could just end it all right now. Like, I'm home alone right now. I could just take a bunch of pills, or, go in the shower and slit my wrist, or anything. Like, I've had those thoughts. But I feel like also with me going to church, that has also helped me understand, like, listen, honey, this is the devil on your back, and he wants you to give up your life and be miserable, and just appease him. And we ain't doing that over here. No. I am a child of God. Like I said earlier, I know my life does matter. I know that to the people that really do care about me, and that they're gonna have my back regardless of whatever I go through. And yeah, like, we ain't doing that. No. So I never went through with it. It was literally a couple thoughts, and that was it. But I know people who do go through that, and I know people, not even just people, like children go through that on a daily basis. You have kids killing themselves on a daily basis because they're being bullied or they're being abused. Like, it's very, very sad to me that as a child you have the thought of killing yourself. Like, that to me is just wow. Because I could say, as a kid, for sure, I never thought about killing myself. Not as a kid, like elementary school, stuff like that. No, those thoughts really didn't come to me until junior high. And that also came with, I was bullied in junior high school. I was, more so because I wasn't the same size as everybody else. Like, I was always thicker than everyone else, like literally always. And I'm not saying I wasn't fat, and I'm still not fat, honey. I was thick. It's definitely different. I never really had a stomach. My stomach was always pretty flat compared to other people. I always had a lot of hips, a lot of butts, and boobs. My boobs grew like crazy in junior high. So I was always I always had a little bit more than everybody else. Also, my aunt, like I said earlier, I wasn't the kid who listened a lot. So my aunt really didn't buy me like all of the newer stuff. Granted, now, she didn't have me going outside looking busted. No, I would still get my Air Max, you know what I'm saying? But she wasn't going out spending her money on Jordans and shit like that when I wasn't listening. And that's okay. Like, I definitely understand that. I get that 100%. But, kids see that you don't have it, and they think like, ugh, like, oh, she's like, what? She's a nobody. She's not this. She's not that. And I'm not the prettiest girl either. And I'm okay with that. I'm not drop dead gorgeous. That's fine with me. I'm okay with that now. And I'm very okay with myself now. I do have my moments where I do feel very insecure and like ugly, but then I also have to remember, like, girl, there is niggas in your DMs right now. Like, honey, there is gonna be guys out there that's gonna want you regardless, like, you know. And I've been with my boyfriend for 6 years. It'll be 7 years in January. We've been together for years, and he accepts me just the way I am. Like, he's okay with it. He loves me. He thinks I'm the prettiest thing walking, and I appreciate that. And then you have the girls who, you know, were in junior high school with me. I can't keep a man to save y'all life. Or you probably are on your 3rd child by like 2 different niggas, but we're not gonna talk about that. And yeah. But just know, if you are watching this and you feel like you don't have anybody, you can definitely write me. You can write me on Instagram. My Instagram is always at the bottom of my Instagram is always in the description. If you feel like you just want to DM me and, you know, tell me what you're going through, it doesn't have to be anything deep, or it can be something deep. If you don't want me to respond to it, just say, hey, I'm not looking for you to respond, but this is just what I'm going through. I just want to tell someone. You can tell me, like, it's fine. I've been through even more than what I'm saying now. I've been through a lot. And I survived it. And I'm still not 100%, but nobody is 100%. The richest person in the world is not 100% okay. And I genuinely believe that. Nobody is genuinely 110% okay. No, that's not even real. I just want people to know that you are valued, you are wanted, you are making a difference, whether you know it or not. You just being here today watching this video is making a difference to somebody. It's made a difference to me, really. And I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm not trying to be big on YouTube. This is just something that I do because it's fun. It makes me forget about, it helps me forget about what I'm going through in my own life. And like I said, if I can help somebody with just sitting down making a video while I do my makeup, then I'm here for it. Always here. Like, I'm not a mean person. You could come speak to me. You could write me, hey girl, hey boo, what's up? How you doing? What you need? I'm here. If you want to know more about my life, by all means, ask me questions. I'm an open book. These are my new brushes from Morphe. They're still in the package. But I'm an open book. Like, I don't hide anything. I'm not here to lie about anything. I'm just here to be me, be Day, and tell you what I know. Day's knowledge. I'm going to finish the rest of my face, and we're going to come back, and I'm going to show you what it looked like. Because I'm not going to show you guys what I do for my face. I feel like if you've seen one tutorial with people doing their face, then you've seen them all. But we're going to come back and we're going to see how I put all this together. I don't know. It didn't turn out that bad. I think I'm going to do some bottom shadow and kind of just buff that out. Can you see this little, like, I got like a bump right here. Why mosquito bit me on my face, though? On my face, like, the disrespect. But I killed it though. But like, really bro? All right guys, I'm gonna come right back. It's gonna be real quick. Well, it's gonna be like a second for y'all, but it's gonna be like 30 minutes for me. But we be back.